So hello, my name is Minyoung, and in this video I will introduce the first code that I created, which is standard form calculator. So the purpose of this calculator is to define slope and y-intercept within the output of standard form with the three different variables, which is a, b, and lastly c. So before I explain specifically about each lines of code that I inserted, I'll first introduce the output that the code shows. So when I press start, it first shows 5 small hyphens at the beginning and standard form calculator, and lastly 5 ending hyphens at the last. And then it's asking for A in my standard form, which will be 2, and it's next asking B for my standard form, which will be 4, and lastly it's asking for a C, which I'll put as 6. So when I insert those three different variables, next it's showing combined standard form with all three variables a, b, and c, which is 2x plus 4y equals 6. So here, nextly it's asking what do you want to know, rather slope or y-intercept. So if I insert slope next to it, it's calculating slope for us, which is minus 0.5 or minus half. Nextly, if I insert y-intercept next to this, it's also calculating for us about y-intercept for the standard form, which is 1.5. Next, I'll explain about how the chord works specifically and how it connects at the last. So, as was mentioned previously, it's printing standard form calculator with 5 hyphens at the beginning and 5 hyphens at the end. And I'm defining 3 variables as A, B, C, and asking what is A in your standard form, what is B in your standard form, and lastly, what is C in your standard form. So before we go to explanation of all those codes that I created, I want to clarify that standard form equals to x plus by equals c. And the purpose here is to find m and b, which is in an equation of y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. So I'm converting this equation to this. I'm finding m, which is the slope, and b, which is the y-intercept. Moving on to next, I'm combining those 3 different variables and printing the whole combined standard form, which prints a, which is the outcome of the question of what is a in your standard form, and x, it's variable of x, and plus, and b, which is another outcome of my second question, which is what is b in your standard form. And next y, which is another variable of y, and equal sign, and lastly c, which is the third question's outcome. Next, I'm asking, what do you want to know, rather slope or y-intercept based on the standard form that you inserted. So before I print those outcomes, I'm defining 2 different variables, which is slope and y-intercept. First, I'm defining slope and printing slope from your standard form equation is minus 1 multiply a divided by b. So next, I'm defining the y-intercept, and I'm printing y-intercept from your standard form equation is ... and I'm dividing c by b, which will get the number of y-intercepts. So if I get output of slope from the variable ask, I'm defining the slope, which is the value of this, and next I'm asking another question, which is what do you want to know, whether slope or y-intercept. So I asked another question because I considered the user if they want to know both slope and y-intercept at the same time with the same standard form. So if I ask and get an output of y-intercept, I'm defining y-intercept here, which is printing the value that is represented here. And next I did the same thing or a similar thing, and when ask is equal to y-intercept, I'm primarily defining the y-intercept, and I'm asking, secondly, what do you want to know, rather slope or y-intercept? And if ask 2, which is the second question I asked, equals to slope, it's defining the slope, which prints the value that is represented here. So my next goal for coding is to create free calculator, which if we ask anything with any variables and with any integers, such as 3 multiplied 4, the answer right away comes 12. And even if I use decimals next to it, minus 3 multiplied 4, the answer will still shows minus 12. And if I insert the both number as negative, it's showing the positive value. And I'm also planning to create a calculator which allows to insert the decimal. For example, if I want to get a output of 3.5 multiplied by 3, the answer right away comes with 10.5. And when I also created those free calculator, the next goal for me is to create a master calculator which combines both free calculator and standard form calculator that I created right now.